Andrew Lost in the Ice Age. By J. C. Greenburg. Andrew's World. Andrew Double. Andrew is 10 years old, but he's been inventing things since he was 4. Andrew's inventions usually get him into trouble, like the time he shrunk himself, his cousin Judy, and his little silver robot Thud smaller than a fly's eye. Today a problem with a snack has sent Andrew back in time way back. Now he's headed for the Ice Age, trying to find his Uncle Al. Judy. Double Judy is Andrew's 13-year-old cousin. At 9 o'clock, she got into her pajamas in a cabin in Montana. A little while later, she saw the beginning of the universe, a spider the size of a desk, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex. She blames it all on Andrew. Thud. The handy ultra-digital detective. Thud is a super smart robot and Andrew's best friend. He has helped to save Andrew and Judy from an exploding star, a tsunami, and a Tyrannosaurus. But can he save them from a flood that can move mountains? Uncle Al. Andrew and Judy's uncle is a top-secret scientist. He invented Thud and the Timatron time travel machine. But now he's been kidnapped and hidden in the Ice Age. Will Andrew and Judy be able to find him? Professor Winkle Wild. She's Uncle Al's partner, and she was kidnapped, too. When Andrew and Judy found her 65 million years ago, she was stranded with a herd of triceratops. Dr. Crone talks. The mysterious Dr. Crone talks invented a time machine, to the Tic-Tocs box. He's used it to kidnap Uncle Al and another scientist. But why? Beeper Jones. Andrew and Judy found 9-year-old Beeper 360 million years ago. He likes to collect dog-sized scorpions and 6-foot centipedes, and yes, he's Dr. Crontox's nephew. Other than that, he's not a bad kid. 1. Are we there yet? Why are we still stuck in dinosaur time? Thought 10-year-old Andrew Double. He was strapped inside his uncle's time travel vehicle, the Timatron. Why aren't we heading for the Ice Age? The display on the Timatron's control panel kept blinking 65 million years ago. Sitting next to Andrew was his 13-year-old cousin, Judy. She was pounding the fast-forward button on the silvery control panel. Outside a forest fire was roaring. Towers of flames were creeping closer. An asteroid the size of a city had just slammed into the Earth and set off an enormous explosion. It had heated the Earth's surface to 1,000 degrees and set fires all over the world. Bong. The Timatron is on its side, said the Timatron in its deep, echoey voice. One of the fast fins seems to be stuck. It is not spinning. Hoo boy, came a voice from the back seat. It was Beeper Jones, the boy they had rescued 300 million years ago. Beeper was wearing just a t-shirt, underpants with pictures of penguins, and a black tube tied around his waist. I lost my camera, said Beeper. I think it fell off my belt when I was getting into the Timatron. I gotta go get it. It's got the only photos of dinos in the whole world. Oh no, you don't, said Professor Winklewild. She grabbed Beeper by the neck of his t-shirt. They had found Professor Wild stranded near a herd of triceratops. The fire will be here in seconds and the air may be too hot to breathe, said Winka. Beeper yanked himself away. In an instant he had pulled up the door in the floor and crawled into the lower compartment. Beeper, yelled Winklewild. Get back here. What a bozo, yelled Judy. I'll get him, said Andrew, unbuckling his seat belt. No op. No op. No op, squeaked a voice from Andrew's pocket. It was Thud, Andrew's little silver robot and best friend. Big, big danger, bong. Do not go after him, Master Andrew, said the Timatron. I will seal the doors, Berk, Psirk, Psirk. The emergency escape, said Andrew. SSSSSSS. One of the Timatron's doors was sliding open. Bong. Too late, it groaned. Andrew scrambled out of his chair. But just then Beeper yelled, "Found it, bunk," came a sound from the bottom compartment. "Get back here," said Winka sternly. "Just a minute," said Beeper. "I dropped something, Bong." "What if we had taken off while you were outside, Master Beeper?" asked the Timatron. "No way," said Beeper, crawling into the upper compartment. "Old Judy Patootie can't even get us moving." "Eat worms," said Judy. "We're leaving in a second." "Not a chance," said Beeper. "Judy doubles in big, big trouble." "Now stop it, you two," said Winka. She was leaning over the control panel, examining the buttons. "We need to focus on getting out of here, Meep." "Gotta rock," squeaked Thud. Judy frowned at him. "Thud, this is no time for music." "No op. No op. No op," said Thud. "Gotta rock, Timatron. Rock side to side. Get Fastfin unstuck." "Oh," said Judy. "Good thinking, Thud," said Winka. "Let's do it," said Beeper. "On the count of 3, rock left," said Andrew. 1, 2, 3. They all leaned left, then right, then back again. The Timatron rocked back and forth. Bong. "Good work," said the Timatron. "Keep going." Flump. The fast fin yanked free. Woo-hoo. Balls of green flame shot from both of the fast fins. They wrapped the Timatron in a web of light. BLA foam. 2-0. The numbers on the control panel were changing. 64 million years ago. 63 million years ago. 62 million years ago. Bong. "Congratulations," said the Timatron. "Your excellent teamwork has gotten us moving again." "Finally," said Judy, leaning back in her seat. Andrew looked out the window. The blazing fire had disappeared. There was nothing but darkness and swirling green light. "I'm glad we got out of there," said Andrew. "But I feel awful that the dinosaurs are all going to die." Winka sighed. "Some of them survived the fires and the heat," she said. "Animals that were in the water, or underground, or even under a pile of leaves may have lived. But then they had another big problem, Bong. The asteroid blasted trillions of tons of dirt and water into the sky," said the Timatron. "Meep. Stuff go halfway to moon," said Thud. Winka nodded. "Most of it came down again quickly. The rocks fell back to Earth as billions of meteors. But the dust circled the Earth for months, Meep. Sky dark, dark, dark for long time," said Thud. "Lots of plants die, Bong." "Then the giant plant-eating dinosaurs didn't have enough to eat," said the Timatron. "And the meat-eating dinosaurs didn't have enough plant-eating dinosaurs to eat." "All woo," sighed Beeper. Bong. "But consider this," said the Timatron. "If huge dinosaurs did not go extinct, mammals might have stayed small, like mice and possums." "Or like our friend the shrew, huh?" said Judy. Bong. "Yes," said the Timatron. "Mammals might never have had the chance to become large, smart creatures like you." "Like 3 of us, anyway," said Beeper, pulling Judy's hair. Winka swatted Beeper's hand away from Judy's head. Then she said, "All the dust blocking the sun made the Earth as cold as an ice age for many months, Meep." "Earth have lots of ice ages," said Thud. Winka nodded. "It helped that mammals were warm-blooded," she said. Warm-blooded mammals could survive the cold better than cold-blooded reptiles. Ice Age, said Judy. Andrew, did you set the DNA detector to find Uncle Al in the Ice Age? Andrew and Judy's Uncle Al was a super-smart scientist. He had invented the timatron and thud, too. Beeper's uncle, Dr. Crontox, had kidnapped Uncle Al and hidden him in Ice Age Montana. He was stranded somewhere between 20,000 and 11,000 years ago. 500,000 years ago blinked on the timatron's display. Oh, said Andrew. I almost forgot. From his pajama pocket, Andrew pulled the DNA detector. It looked like a black remote control. He pressed the keys to spell Alfred double. 100,000 years ago. 50,000 years ago. 20,000 years ago. It got very quiet inside the timatron as they waited for a signal from the DNA detector. 15,000 years ago. 14,000 years ago. Ping, ping, ping. The DNA detector had detected Uncle Al. Judy let go of the fast-forward button, and the web of green light around the timatron vanished. The time travel machine was sitting on a rocky plain. Low plants and scruffy bushes grew between the stones. Here and there were patches of snow. Wowzers, said Andrew. Montana sure is different from when the dinosaurs lived here. Let's get out and look for Uncle Al, said Judy. They unlatched their seat belts. Andrew pulled up the door in the floor and climbed down the rope ladder into the lower compartment. The others followed. Bong. The timatron's oval door opened. A chilly breeze blew in. Woofers, said Andrew with a shiver. It's cold out there. There was a whiff of pine in the clear air, and the sky was blue and sunny. Andrew glanced around the compartment. I wonder if there's anything warm to wear, he said. H.O. Hoo, hoo. It was the hooting of a little pygmy owl. It had chased the shrew into the timatron before their trip. The hoots were coming from a tangle of black fuel tubes. Andrew crawled behind the tubes. Holy moly, he said, staring down at a pile of black coils. The owl was sitting on top of a huge egg. It was exactly like the Tyrannosaurus egg they had found 65 million years ago. Beeper, yelled Andrew. How did this egg get here? Oh, said Beeper. I found it outside when I was looking for my camera. Winka shook her head. Beeper, bringing a Tyrannosaurus to the Ice Age is so wrong, she said. We've told you before, we must not interfere with the past. Humph! 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 They all turned toward the door. Something was coming. Something big. 3. A mammoth problem. Something dark and furry blocked the light from the open door. In the dimness, Andrew could see a trunk. It looked like an elephant's trunk, but this one was very hairy. The trunk was attached to a dark furry face. Thick yellow tusks sprouted beneath the trunk. Meep, woolly mammoth, squeaked Thud. The trunk snaked through the door and wrapped itself around Judy's waist. Yeowa, yelled Judy as the trunk began dragging her out of the timatron. Winka flung herself at Judy and hung on. Bong. The door closed on the mammoth's trunk. The trunk let go of Judy and tugged itself out of the door. Cheese Louise, said Judy, flopping to the floor. Suddenly the timatron began to totter. It was tipping. Crunk. The timatron fell on its side and started to roll. Inside the compartment, everyone was tumbling like popcorn. Beeper, yelled Winka. Grab that egg. Let's get to our seats and buckle up. Andrew, Judy, and then Beeper with the egg made their way into the upper compartment and strapped themselves in. Wowzers schnauzers, said Andrew, looking out the window. The mammoth is rolling us. It's like we're in a circus, said Beeper. My stomach feels yucky, said Judy. The mammoth was shoving them toward a jagged line of craggy mountains. Thud pointed to a huge wall of ice stretched between two of the highest ones. Meep. Glacier, he said. Moving ice mountain. The mammoth stopped and wagged its trunk in the air. It smells something, said Winka. A creature crept out of the glacier. It looked like a heap of fur on 2 feet. The creature ran to the timatron. There was pounding at the timatron's door. Bong. Who is there? Asked the timatron. Ubble. Ubble, came a muffled sound. Bong. Professor Double is here, said the timatron, opening the door. They unbuckled their seat belts and rushed into the bottom compartment. The pile of fur in the doorway seemed to bow. Fur pieces tumbled from it. Underneath the falling fur was Uncle Al, dressed like a bear. Hey, Uncle Al, yelled Andrew and Judy. They scrambled into his fuzzy arms. Hiya, Unkai, squeaked Thud. Hello, Alfred, said Winka, smiling. Uncle Al hugged them all. I knew Max would find you, he said with a big smile. And the timatron has taken good care of you. You all look great. You don't look anything like a clown, sir, said Beeper. What? Said Judy. My uncle calls your uncle a clown, explained Beeper. But I don't think he's right. Uncle Al laughed. Thank you, Beeper, he said. And what would your Uncle Krontox say if he saw you in your underpants holding a huge egg? Beeper, don't tell me you've got a dinosaur egg there. Beeper grinned. A monster fish pulled off my pants 360 million years ago, he said. And don't worry, sir, I won't tell you about the egg. Uncle Al shook his head. We'll deal with that later, he said as he picked through the pile of fur. But first we have to get you dressed for the Ice Age. What? Said Judy. Uncle Al, now that we've found you, can't we just go back to our own time? Dr. Krontox is after us. He could catch up with us any minute. The twinkle in Uncle Al's eyes faded. It's not that simple, he said. He handed Judy a cape of shaggy brown fur. There's something important we have to do first. Further and further. What? Asked Andrew. Uncle Al handed Andrew a big chunk of fur. Dr. Krontox has been capturing animals from different times, he said. He's hidden them in the glacier. I've found some of them, but there are more. We have to find them all and get them back to their own times. And we have to do it very fast. What's the rush? Asked Beeper. There's an enormous flood coming very soon, said Uncle Al. Not another stupid disaster, said Judy. Uncle Al held a hunk of fur up to Beeper to check the size. The Ice Age has been getting warmer for a while now, he said. Not far from here, there's a huge ice dam that's 200 stories high. It's started to melt. It could break any time. When it does, more water than all the rivers in the world will rush out. Wowzers schnauzers, said Andrew. We've got to get Max to a safe place, too. We'd better hurry, said Winka. Winka and Uncle Al fitted everyone with capes and scarves. There were big pieces of fur to wrap around their waists like skirts. Then Uncle Al handed out small pieces of fur and leather strips. Here, he said. Wrap the fur around your feet and tie it on with the leather strips. Not fashionable, but warm. Andrew, here's an extra strip. You can make a little holder for Thud and hang him from your neck. Where did all this fur come from? Asked Andrew. I found piles of it inside the cave where I've been staying, said Uncle Al. They're beaver skins, from giant beavers. The skins were collected by human hunters, but I haven't seen them. Beeper wrapped his egg in a piece of fur. Then they all hopped out of the Timatron. Bye, Timatron, said Andrew. See you soon, said Judy. Bong. Keep warm, said the Timatron. Everyone, including Max, followed Uncle Al toward the glacier. Andrew's breath made little clouds in the cool air. He could feel the hard, cold ground through his furry foot wraps. Hoo boy, yelled Beeper, who was straggling behind. I almost slipped on some ice. I almost dropped the egg. Can I get a ride on Max? Please? Uncle Al turned to Beeper and rolled his eyes. Well, I guess we could arrange that, he said. Max, said Uncle Al. He held his hand up. Max stopped. Beeper, go stand in front of Max. Uncle Al raised his hand from his waist to the top of his head. Max curled his trunk gently around Beeper and slowly raised him to the top of his head. Hot doggies, said Beeper, settling himself on top of Max's head. Suddenly eerie sounds came from a distance. Hooroo! Wahoo! They gave Andrew the shivers. Wolves, said Winka. Yes, said Uncle Al, looking toward a line of trees. 2 kinds of wolves live here. Dire wolves are big with small brains. They'll go extinct in a few thousand years. Gray wolves are smaller and smarter. The gray wolves will be alive in our time, too. Those are the ones you hear.